Alright, so this is going to be the video going over the assignment y'all did on March 15th, which was the Quizizz. We're going to go over a couple of these questions. We're going to go ahead and start with number 4. Alright, so on this assignment, we were working with all these shapes that we have already covered. So if we look at this shape, we can see that it's a sphere. Alright, so the volume formula. Let's write our volume formula. Okay, so when we talk about a sphere, we know a sphere does not have a base. Okay, so there's not going to be a shape of the base. There's not going to be an area formula. We're just going to be talking about the volume. Okay, so the volume formula for a sphere is V is equal to 4/3 times pi radius, and it's going to be to the power of 3 or cubed. Okay, all right. Just to make sure, if we go to our area, our reference chart, we can go down the volume. We can see spheres down here, and it's 4/3 pi r cubed. All right. So going back. Now, the only thing that we need to find in this sphere is our radius. Okay. So if we can see, it already gives us our radius. Our radius is 6 millimeters. So I'm going to write 6, R right here. So I have 4/3 times pi times 6 to the power of 3, or cubed. Okay. Go to the calculator. Let's type this all in. 4/3 times pi times 6, and then we're going to hit this little caret button right here, right next to the x squared, power of 3. And I get 904.8 if I round up. So let's go write that down. We have 904.8 volume, and we're working with our units, which is millimeters cubed. We look, see our answer choices. Answer choice B. So B is the correct answer for number 4. We're going to go down to number 7. On number 7, it says find the volume of the figure. We can see that our figure is a cone. All right. So volume formula for a cone. We check our formula chart. We see cone right here. We have 1/3 times big B, which is area of the base, times height. Okay. Big B stands for area of the base. Okay. If we look at the shape of our base, we see that it's a circle. So big B is equal to the area of the base, and our area for a circle is pi radius squared. See, r is equal to 4, so we know pi times 4 squared. When we plug that into the calculator, we have pi times 4 squared. We get 50 point, we'll round up to 3. We have 50.3, and this will be centimeters, and when we're talking about area, it is squared. So we're going to drop down our 1/3. We're going to drop down our big B, which we just found out to be 50.3, and then our height. Okay. When we talk about our height, we're talking about the whole entire height of the whole entire cone. So we're talking about all of this, which we can see is 9 times 9. Let's go to our calculator. Type in 1/3 times our area of the base, which was 50.2655. So we'll just hit up and press enter to get this whole entire decimal point. All right. We don't round until the very end. And we're going to multiply by our height, which is 9. And we get 150 point, when we round up, 8. Volume is equal to 150. And we can see that our answer choices are going to be hundredths place. So let's go see 2 decimal points real quick. So we'll have 7, so we'll just have 0.8. All right. So this is 0.8 centimeters cubed. We can see that answer choice A is the closest to our answer, so answer choice A is going to be our correct answer. All right. So for number 7, A is the correct answer. We're going to go down to 8 now. It says it wants us to find the volume one more time. We see this time we have what looks to be a prism, but we can see that it's a dice. When we think about dices, we already know all side lengths of a dice are the same, so it's technically a cube. So we know the height is 15, we know this is 15, every side length is going to be 15. So the volume formula is big B times the height of the 3D image. Big B is the area formula for a square, which is length times width. We have 15 times 15. 15 times 15 is 225. So we have 225. Plug in big B over here. 225 times our height, which is also 15. As we can see, all of our side lengths are 15. So 225 times 15, so times 15, is 3,375, which we can see is answer choice D, with 3,375 millimeters cubed. We're going to skip down to question number 11. On number 11, it says, what is the formula used to find V is equal to pi r squared times the height? Okay, so when we see, let me write this out over here. So we have V is equal to pi r squared times height. So when we see pi r squared, so when we see this, we know this is the area formula for a circle. Okay, so area formula for a circle, again, is pi r squared. So let's go ahead and look at all these answer choices. The volume of a sphere. If we see pi r squared and we go to our formula chart, nowhere in here, we see pi r, but it's cubed. So we know C is not the correct answer. Then we have an area of a circle. If we go to our formula chart, we see circle under area. We see it is pi r squared, but when we look at the whole entire thing, we're still multiplying by height. So we know D is not our correct answer. So all we're left with is A and B. All right. When we talk about the volume of a cone, we need a fraction here. The volume for a cone is 1/3 times big B times H, and nowhere in here we see 1/3. When we talk about the volume of a cylinder, we need, for cylinder, let me write the cylinder formula real quick. So for cylinder, we have volume is equal to big B times H. And the area of the base is a circle for a cylinder, and big B will be equal to pi r squared. So if we rewrite the cylinder formula, we have V is equal to pi r squared times height, which is what we have up here. So A is our correct answer. Pi r squared is the area formula for a circle, but when we multiply the height, we're looking for a cylinder. Now, if we were looking for, if this formula had a 1/3 in front of it, then we would be looking for a cone. But there's no 1/3 in here, so we're only looking for a cylinder. We're going to go to question number 12 now. So question number 12, again, it wants us to find the volume of a cylinder. So cylinder, again, our volume formula is V is equal to big B times height. Okay, big B stands for the area of the base, which we know is to be a circle. Area formula for a circle is pi radius squared. We can see 6 is our radius, and 15 is our height of our whole 3D shape. Okay, so we'll plug in 6 for radius, so we have pi times 6 squared. When we plug this into the calculator, we have pi times 6 squared. Hit Control Enter. We have 113 point, we'll round up to 1. Just to write down, 113.1, and this will be meters, and we're talking about area, so we're talking squared. All right, so we know volume is equal to 113.1 times our height of our 3D image, which is 15. All right, so we'll plug this all into the calculator. We don't want a rounded answer, so we're going to use this whole entire thing. So we'll just press arrow up, and we'll press enter, so we get all these decimal places, and times our height, which was 15. We have 1,696 point. We'll round up this time to 5. So we have volume is equal to 1,696.5 meters, and it's the volume, so it's cubed to the power of 3. Okay. We can see that answer choice B is our correct answer. It's going to be the closest one to our answer that we found in our calculator. We're going to skip down to number 14. Okay, number 14 was a confusing question. Let's look at it real quick. Kayla has 2 spherical balls in her yard. Which statement about the volumes is true? All right. So when we have a question that's like this, the best thing is not to just think about what we think the correct answer is. We have to work it out. If we work it out, we're going to get the correct answer, okay? So we know the volume formula for a sphere is V is equal to 4/3 times pi times radius cubed to the power of 3. All right? So let's work out the first ball. We have our radius for the first ball is equal to 8, and our radius for the second ball is equal to 4. Okay? So we have 2 formulas. We have V is equal to 4/3 times pi times 8 cubed. And then we also have V is equal to 4/3 times pi times 4 cubed. All right. So let's plug these into our calculator. So we have controlled divide. We have 4/3 times pi times for ball 1, our radius was 8, and then we need cubed. So here's our volume for ball 1. It's 2,144.66. So let's go ahead and write that. So we have 2,144.66. And then for our second ball, our volume is, let's find out. So what we'll do is we'll just arrow up to this right here. We'll just press enter so we have everything. We'll go back to our 8. So we'll just arrow back over to 8. We'll change our 8 to a 4 this time for our second ball because our second radius was a 4. We'll press enter, and we see our volume for the second ball is 268.08. Okay. All right, so let's look at our answer choices real quick. First, A says the volume of ball 2 is twice the volume of ball 1. So we're going to take the volume of ball 2 and we're going to multiply it by 2 and to see if it equals 2,144. So we'll take our answer, we'll press enter, times 2, and we can see that it equals 536. So we can say answer choice A is not the correct answer. So we'll just mark out A. Let's go to B. The volume of ball 1 is 8 times the volume of ball 2. So let's go to, so for answer choice B, we're going to take our volume for ball 2, and we're going to multiply it 8 times to see if it equals the volume of ball 1. So again, we'll arrow up to our volume of ball 2. We'll press enter, and we're going to times this one by 8. And we can see that it equals 2,144.66, which is the same volume as our larger sphere. So B could be the correct answer. Answer choice C, the volume of ball 1 is twice the volume of ball 2. That means we're going to multiply 2,144 by 2, which will not be the answer. It's going to be way too high. So C is not our correct answer. And then D, the volume of ball 2 is 8 times the volume of ball 1. So we're going to multiply ball 1 by 8 to see if it equals ball 2, which is also going to be way too high. We're doing 2,144 times 8 to get 268, which is not possible. So B is the correct answer for question number 14. We'll go down to question number 15. All right, so number 15 says a rancher wants to cut a metal cylinder in half to use as a watering trough, as shown. If the cylinder has a diameter of 5 feet and a length of 9 feet, what is the closest to the volume of the trough in cubic feet? Okay, so we can see that we have half a cylinder here, but we're going to act like it's a whole entire cylinder first. We're not going to divide by 2 until the very end. Okay, so the volume formula for a cylinder is big B times H. Okay, we know big B is the area of the base, and we know our shape of the base is a circle. We can act like there's a whole circle right here, which is pi radius squared. Okay, we know our diameter is 5, so half of 5 is 2.5. Okay, so we have pi times 2.5 squared. Let's go do that in the calculator real quick. We have pi times 2.5 squared, and we get 19.6 is equal to 19.6. But we can see that it wants us to use 3.14, so let's go do that one more time. So we have 3.14. When it says pi is equal to 3.14, in the question, you use that. You don't use the pi key. Okay, so we have 3.14 times 2.5 squared. So we get the same, we get 19.625 instead. Okay, so it's still 19.6. That's what we're going to write. All right, so over here on this side, big B is 19.6 times our height of our whole entire 3D image, which we can see is 9. So 19.6 times 9. We want all the decimal points, so we're going to arrow up, and we'll press enter, so we get everything, times 9. We can see our answer is 176.6. Okay, so our volume is equal to 176.6 feet cubed. But now we have to think that's for the whole entire cylinder, but we only want half the cylinder. So we are going to divide this whole entire number by 2. And when we divide it by 2, we get 88.3, which we can see is answer choice C. C is the correct answer for number 15. We're going to skip down to question 19 now. All right, number 19 wants us to find the volume. See, our shape is a cone. So over here, I'm going to write the volume formula, which is B is equal to 1/3 times big B times H. The shape of our base is a circle. So we know the area formula for a circle is pi radius squared. We see our radius is 3, and we can see our height is 8. Oh, height. Okay. So we're going to place R with 3, so we have pi times 3 squared. Times 3 squared. We get 28.3 to write down. It's equal to 28.3 centimeters, and this will be squared for the area. Okay, let's go to our volume formula now. We have 1/3. We're dropping that down. We got to make sure we use 1/3. Big B is now 28.3. And times our height, which is 8. Okay, go back to the calculator, control divide. 1/3 times, we want this whole entire number, so we'll arrow up. We'll press enter, so we get all the decimal points, times our height, which was 8. We get 75, and we'll round up now since we're at the end to 0.4. We have volume is equal to 75.4 centimeters cubed is our final answer, which is answer choice C. We're going to do 2 more. We're going to go over number 20, and then we'll finish it up real quick. So number 20 says a fish tank in the library is 3 feet long, 5 feet wide, and 4 feet deep. What is the volume of the fish tank? So if we think about it and we draw a picture, we know the shape of our tank is a rectangular prism. Okay. It's saying our length is 3 feet. It is 5 feet wide, and it is 4 feet deep. So 4 feet is our height. Okay? For prisms, for rectangular prisms, we can do the length times the width times the height. So we have 3 times 5 times 4. Okay? When we multiply all of these together, we get 60. 60 is the correct answer for number 20. All right? And the question number 23. Number 23. The sphere above has a diameter of 20 centimeters. What would be the volume of the sphere? Okay? So if we know the diameter from side to side of the sphere is 20 centimeters, we know half of our diameter is our radius. So our radius is equal to 10. Okay? So now we know our radius. We need the volume of a sphere though. So we know our volume formula is 4/3 pi radius cubed. We have 4/3 times pi times 10 cubed. All right, let's go to our calculator and figure out the answer. So we have control divide. We have 4/3 times pi times our radius, which was 10 to the power of 3. And our answer is 4,188, which we can see is answer choice A. All right. So that's going to be the video for the mixed volume quiz that we did on Monday. If you need to do the redo assignment, go ahead and do the redo assignment.